Have you ever noticed that the women who are the loudest, the most seen, the most heard, have the least amount of control over their tongue? Let me tell you something. True power is not about how loud you are, how well you can win an argument, or your ability to be able to explain yourself. True power is knowing when to be quiet and when to walk away, and knowing when something does not deserve your energy. Hey, girlfriend, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Takia Cherie. And in today's video, I am sharing something that has absolutely changed my life once I figured it out. And that's simply the art of silence. Moving in silence. If you have ever felt drained from having to explain yourself or having to respond to negativity, then keep watching because this video is for you. Let's talk about how to master the power of silence and why your next move should be kept quiet. Silence is not a weakness. And for women who understand the power of silence, they absolutely understand that silence is about choosing your peace rather than trying to prove a point. It's literally choosing growth over gossip and learning how to discern when and when not to speak. The first thing that I want you to understand is that silence is clarity. And the reason why I say that is because majority of the time when people are trying to prove themselves or they're trying to prove a point or they want to win an argument, the one thing that they fail to realize is that people who don't respond right away, that's a person you don't want to mess with. A woman who would rather wait to respond to you rather than reacting impulsively, she's not somebody you want to play with. Because if you know anything about chess, she's waiting for the right move. She's not making impulsive decisions based off of something you said or something or an outside circumstances. She's waiting for the right time to say what she needs to say. Not everything needs a response. Sometimes not responding at all is the best thing you can do. I used to think that I had to explain myself. I used to think that I had to defend my decisions or I always felt like I had to have something to say. But the more and more I grew up, I realized that everything doesn't need a response. Every situation doesn't need a response. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to say absolutely nothing at all. Not only is it powerful, but you walk around with such a confidence, right? When you don't have to open your mouth and you can let the situation or the thing speak for itself, and I don't have to say nothing. Now, see, here's the biggest thing. You got to also know when to be quiet. Let's talk about the moments where silence is the most important. Number one, girl, when emotions are high, be quiet. Not every feeling that you are having needs to be spoken out loud. You don't need to tell everybody that what you're going through and how you're going through it. You don't have to do all that. When emotions are high, do not say anything, especially if you're having an argument. Maybe you're having an argument with your spouse. Just don't talk. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to pause, take a deep breath before you respond. Give yourself time to think, pray, process, all of that. I think one of the things that I learned very early on in my marriage was that I just didn't have to I didn't have to win the argument all the time. Now I felt like, okay, yes, but you do know that I'm right, right? I didn't have to say that. Like the situation will prove itself. The second most important time for you to be quiet is when you're building something. You don't have to announce everything. Your results will show. Okay? This is one of the biggest things I learned even in moving to Texas, right? So if you have not watched that video, go back and watch the video on how God told us to move to Texas. But one of the things that I talked about in that video was the fact that in the beginning, when God told us to leave, we just went around and telling everybody. It caused us not to move for 3 years, 3 whole years. So I am a very huge advocate in not allowing somebody or something to cause you to be stagnant or to kill your dreams in a premature stage, right? If you're just starting out with something, or if God has told you to do something and you're in the beginning stages of it, baby, you don't want to share too much or share any of it at all in the beginning, because again, you don't want your dream or this thing or this assignment to be killed prematurely, okay, by somebody else's opinion. When you're building something, or when you have an assignment, or you're starting something out, just don't say anything, and your results will show. You can share your plans, but you don't owe it to anybody to have to explain what you're doing, especially if God told you. Because if God told you, you don't really have to explain it. Now, you give people the courtesy, honestly, you give people the courtesy, especially if it's a loved one or things like that. You give them the courtesy, but the truth is you don't owe anybody the explanation as to why you're going to do something. The third most important time for you to know when to be silent is when negativity is calling your name. I know. Let me give you a perfect example. Gossip, drama, unnecessary debates. These things do not deserve your energy. They don't. They do not deserve your energy. If somebody's calling you gossiping, they got drama, you on the other line like, girl, let me spill the tea. I got a lot You can simply tell, I don't want no part of this. You're in gossip and you're thinking that you can trust the other person on the other end of the phone, and things didn't work out that way. Something that you said, it very well may not have even been bad what you said, but somebody twisted your words and they said this and they said that. Baby, you don't have to give an opinion. You don't have to tell somebody how you feel in every situation. You don't have to give an opinion about a situation or somebody else's drama that is happening. You don't have to say anything. That situation is their situation. They don't have nothing to do with me. That's how I learned to have to respond. This is not my business. Point blank, period. Your peace is worth so much. I take pride in my peace. Let me just go off the deep end a little bit. I have even got to the point where I won't even let certain people come in my house because I take pride in my peace, and my home is my peace. Okay? If I don't have peace at home, then nobody don't have no peace. I come home from a long day or a stressful world. The world is crazy itself. You should be able to find peace in your house. So there's certain things that I have learned to do. I won't hang around with certain type of people. I don't allow a certain type of person in my house. I don't talk to them long on the phone. You say hi and bye. Hey, just checking on you. Okay, hey, I'm going to hit you up later. And you learn how to navigate through that to keep your peace. Peace is so valuable. The same way you guard your wallet and your pocketbook, guard your peace. You'll thank me later. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is moving in silence and protecting your energy. Moving in silence is not so much about secrecy, right? So a lot of people think that moving in silence has a lot to do with being secretive. And that's not fully what I think it is personally. To me, it's about protecting what's sacred. I'm protecting what's sacred. I feel like this is where my home is, where I laugh. My home is where my kids laugh. My home is where my kids play. My home is where I pray. This is where I talk to God. This is holy ground around here. But then when I also understood that not only is my home sacred, but my mind is sacred. My mind, like there's a scripture that says, guard your heart, for out of it flows the issues of life. Your mind is the most powerful thing. And if you let anybody talk to you, those are seeds that begin to grow in your heart or in your mind. And those things, they bear fruit. But when you guard your heart, it's easy for you to let certain things or certain sayings, opinions roll off your shoulder, roll off and say, okay, I'm not going to engage, or I'm not going to allow that word or that thing to stick to me. That's how you guard your heart. So keep your plans private. They don't have to be private for a long period of time. They can be private temporarily. But like I said, prematurely in the beginning, just don't talk about it. Like, try your best to move in silence and not in secrecy. Just try to move in a way where you're maintaining your peace, right? So let's just say if you had to say something, just don't go into heavy details about what you're doing. You can say, oh yeah, I'm working on something, blah, blah, blah. Be very, vague. Well, I said vague. Try to keep it very vague, okay? Let your progress do the talking. This is something I had to learn, was that everybody in a crowd is not a fan. They're not. Some people are more interested in you failing than they are in you winning. And some people are there to scout it out and to look versus support. So you got to let your progress speak for itself. And ultimately that just means getting it done without saying anything, moving in silence, protecting your peace, and letting what you do, the discipline, your consistency of that thing, show the reward or show the work that you've actually been putting in. I used to have to feel like I had to defend myself in every situation. Anytime somebody would say something to me about what they didn't like, what they thought I should be doing, I constantly felt like that was an opportunity for me to defend myself. I realized, I was like, you know what? Like, I know what I'm doing. God knows what I'm doing. That's all that matters. This is like the scripture that says your father, or those who pray in secret, the Father will reward them openly. Another reason why you shouldn't be telling people your business, or another reason why you shouldn't be sharing your plans, because it says it right there. Those who pray to him in secret, you go into your secret closet, you shut the door, and you pray to him in secret. He will reward them openly. Openly meaning I'm going to reward you in front of everybody. I'm going to reward you in plain sight where everybody can see it. But it's what you do in secret. It's what you do in silence that allows him to reward you openly. So as we get to the end of this video, so here's my challenge for you, okay? The next time you feel the urge to react, respond, or prove yourself, ask yourself this question: how great would the reward be if I kept silent and I allowed God to do the work? Comment down below a situation or a time where you felt like your silence was the most powerful thing that you could do. If you are new here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video out to somebody who you think could definitely use this advice. And make sure you come back and stick around for the next one. And as always, girlfriend, have a good one.